Families throughout the Bay Area are struggling under the weight of a growing homelessness crisis, as skyrocketing rents push more low-income families out of their homes and into cars, RVs, or tents. 29% of Bay Area renters are one financial emergency away from not making their next rent payment, according to a recent Zillow survey. In Oakland, the number of homeless people has grown by more than a quarter in 2 years, jumping from 2,191 in 2015 to nearly 3,000 in 2018, according to the Everyone Counts Homeless Census, which experts say likely undercounts the population. Oakland opened its third community of converted garden sheds to house homeless residents living around Lake Merritt, near downtown. Last year, its mayor, Schaaf, implored local homeowners to open their spare bedrooms to the homeless, and by the end of the year, Oakland will have opened at least another 70 beds to supplement the city's transitional housing. Even with all of the outreach, as I drove around, I could not believe how many camps evidenced this crisis. Most of the camps appear to have been intact for a very long time. While interviewing some homeless, I asked them if I could provide them with a construction job for $20 per hour. Would they be willing to accept? No one accepted the offer. What I learned is that of those I spoke with, they were not looking for work. They have come to prefer their lifestyle being apart from the daily grind. They see their camp as a community, like their family. I asked if they had a substance abuse issue, and mostly they acknowledged drinking and some marijuana, and others acknowledged other illicit drugs. They shared that for the most part, people leave them alone, and they appreciate the area because of the weather, and the police do not hassle them. When asked why they chose the proximity of their current location, they said they wanted to be near people so they could ask them for money. Most also said that they are on public assistance, receiving money and food, but needed more. My next journey would lead me across the Bay Bridge to San Francisco, where I had information that in the Tenderloin District and the Mission District, there was a large number of homeless. When I inquired as to the lowest income in all of San Francisco, I was told it was Chinatown, with an average annual income of just over $25,000, while the median income for San Francisco was just over $91,000. I chose to head to Chinatown first because it was in close proximity to where I was. As I entered Chinatown, I found no homeless whatsoever. Instead, I found a vibrant Asian culture with strong presence of their cultural celebrations and strong families. From the customary dragon dances, the different shops, this was a very tight-knit community, and I could feel it. I heard some music and I journeyed to where it was coming from. I happened upon the elders from the community gathered together, playing cards, playing instruments, and just spending quality time together. It was incredible, and this was reminiscent of my travels to Asia and the strong family and cultural values I experienced there. Interesting to see the contrast from the homeless in Oakland that I had just come from to a people that had little money but embraced their culture and each other and lived life full of happiness. In Oakland, I encountered a more of an entitled mentality of believing they should not have to work and that they deserve to be taken care of. My next journey was to Tenderloin District and Mission District as they were side by side. My Lyft driver, Brian, was a wealth of information. I asked him if he felt afraid of the homeless, and he laughed and said that he was more concerned with making sure he did not step in human feces left on the sidewalk than being afraid of the homeless people. He would then share with me that he had lived in San Francisco for the past 5 years, moving here from Detroit, and he laughed, saying in Detroit he was afraid, but this was no Detroit. We both laughed. This driver would tell me that he had compassion for the homeless and did not feel that by the ease to which they were embraced by the Bay Area, that this has been the cause of an increased homelessness crisis in the area. After encountering some of the homeless in San Francisco, it was a different experience than I experienced in Oakland. Instead of large camps, the majority of the homeless I encountered were in very small groups or alone. They shared openly with me that they accept their lifestyle and believe they are entitled to being taken care of. When I asked them what they felt they were responsible for, they either became agitated or said that their situation made them an exception. As I returned from San Francisco to Oakland, my Lyft driver, Raul, had a completely different take than Brian. He was born in Mexico, and his perspective was that people want so bad to come to the United States, and they should be working for it and not being lazy. He felt that his Mexican values and strong families in working hard has shaped him into who he is and how he sees the homeless issue. He felt a sort of disrespect for the homeless doing nothing and having all their needs met when they will not simply get a job. He believed they should have to work to get any assistance. He also commented that they do not want to be bothered, yet they bother the community by their lifestyle, and they force the negative attributes of their lifestyle on the community that doesn't deserve that. He felt they are a public health risk with using the public sidewalks to go to the bathroom, resulting in trucks having to be paid to come out at night to clean the sidewalks because of the irresponsibility of the homeless. Although my driver was young, in his early 20s, he had a confident wit about him, and he made sense. Raul shared that he grew up in San Diego, and the cost of living is much higher in the Bay Area than San Diego, but he felt the wages were higher as well. He works as a server and said he and his friends love the Bay Area, and it was his choice to pay the higher rent. The lesson I learned most is the fact that the perspective from both the Asian and Latino culture, not consenting to the option of homelessness, as those fortunate enough to have been born in the USA so easily become ensnared in their sense of entitlement and willing to demand to be served rather than to serve their community.